Right, ACP takes a bite out of Charter's broadband base. Charter, aka Spectrum. All right, let's take a look at these numbers. Charter Communications, Spectrum. Their broadband business took a hit in the second quarter of 2024 amid the winding down of the ACP, Affordable Connectivity Program that we spoke to earlier in the show. Charter, the operator with the most exposure to the FCC-run program, shed 149,000 broadband subs, a loss of 154,000 residential, a gain of 5,000 small and mid-sized businesses, versus a year-over-year gain of 77,000. So they went from being net positive to very negative in 1 year. Charter said the wind down of the ACP accounted for about 100,000 of those Q2 losses. Okay, so that's interesting. Even without ACP, they still lost 49,000 subs. That was split evenly between voluntary churn and reduced gross additions. Oh God, Craig Moffat, here we go with the bullshit. Charter said it also saw a $30 million headwind due to one-time, non-recurring ACP-related items in the quarter. So that's probably fees associated with the service that are secondary beyond just the regular service. Okay, so here is the subscriber growth rate for Charter. Spectrum. Looking pretty terrible. All right, here's your numbers, guys. Look at this wonderful growth on the left half of this graph. Oh my goodness, it looks phenomenal. Q2 of 2020, what happened? The pandemic. Everybody and their mother needed a high-capacity wireline connection. It's really unfortunate that fixed wireless access hadn't taken off yet. You know, the spectrum and the radios and the antennas just weren't out there, and the fiber circuits hadn't scaled yet for the big, telco operators. But anyways, that's the peak. That is the pinnacle of cable's existence. You notice that since the pandemic, it's been all downhill. So much so. Not only have they been slowing their growth, that's what you're seeing here, the growth is slowing. They're not negative. They're not losing customers in these years. So 2020 was all positive. So was 21. Even 22 had some growth. Slower, but, there's growth. You get into 23, you start to see some cracks. Right? Q2 of 2022, you see, I don't know if that's like a loss. Right? Your first losses there. And then you see growth rates under 1%. And then starting last year, Q4, losses. So not only did you see the growth completely stall, but we started to see losses. That's the story of big cable since fixed wireless access, from T-Mobile Home Internet and Verizon 5G Home Internet, since they started kicking their ass and taking all their customers. According to Charter CEO Chris Winfrey, we've retained the vast majority of ACP customers so far. He said on the earnings call, the real question is the customer's ability to pay not just now, but over time. That tells me that he is expecting that potentially they could lose customers in the future. Meaning they're hanging in there for now, but they might disconnect in the future. So I don't know, they lost 100,000. I mean, could they lose another 100,000 next quarter? I don't know. Charter expects that part of the picture to emerge in Q3 and Q4. We'll know those numbers soon. Charter's residential broadband average revenue per user, $68, rose 1.7% year over year. You know who's got a ARPU like that is Verizon. They've got an ARPU of $68, and that's on mobile service. With respect to wireline, that number looks a lot like AT&T's. I think theirs is like $69 maybe for their fiber. I think their DSL is a little bit lower. I think it's closer to like 60 or something. All right, we got rural expansion. It's good to see. They added 89,000 passings in Q2, extending its total to 582,000. Charter is on track to activate 450,000 new subsidized rural passings in 24, about 50% more than its 2023 total. Okay, so what this tells me is they are much busier this year than they were last year. So that means to me, their CapEx, spending on the network has increased this year. The operator is also on track to complete its Rural Digital Opportunity Fund commitment by the end of 25, about 2 years ahead of schedule. The sooner you finish your projects, the faster you can monetize. So I can't blame them for that. Charter tacked on 36,000 subs from the rural subsidy program, totaling 213,000. They pulled down $92 million in revenues from those programs, $61 million residential, $22 million from subsidies, $9 million from other sources. I don't know what that means. CapEx for those projects were $567 million in Q2, up from $541 million a year ago quarter. SMT Nation, it is time for me to introduce to you Aura. Give you guys an incredible suite of cybersecurity protections to keep everything that you do online safe, keeping you safe from identity theft, scams, online threats, including protections for your entire family. They offer pretty much a worry-free trial period. Obviously, the pricing is very competitive, starting at $12 per month. They've got one simple and easy app for you to use. They've got incredible features, $1 million in coverage, 24/7 expert fraud support, transparent pricing, the money-back guarantee at 60 days with a free trial, no strings attached. So with the odds of falling victim to an online crime being 1 in 4, this would change everything. Really should check them out. The financial fraud protection is worth its weight in gold. Help keep your kids protected within boundaries that you set forth for them. Proven to be the fastest, most reliable fraud alert system. And it's as simple as choosing your plan, simply setting up how you're enrolled, and then getting notified for all the things that it's monitoring. Start your free trial now. Use our link. It's down in the description, and it's also here on the screen. Aura.com/Sneed. You guys can click the URL. It's hyperlinked down in the description. And again, it's up here on the screen, Aura.com/Sneed. Protect yourself from all the digital threats that's out there in the world.